Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now January 3rd of 2022, and ever since the very end of The Mandalorian Season 2 and The Bad Batch, a lot of Star Wars fans around the world have been very much intrigued about the future of the franchise by George, John, and Dave, and exactly what they're up to with this new Star Wars universe that's going to combine Star Wars Legends with the new, and exactly how they can really balance all of that out to really satisfy both the hardcore fans, casual fans, and new fans coming in to understand all of this. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do post a couple of entertaining things from time to time and really make sure to interact with you guys further. So we're now in a very interesting moment of the Star Wars universe. I mean, we are getting very close to Chapter 2 of the Book of Boba Fett in just a day or so. Beyond all of this, we have around 5 episodes of Book of Boba left after that. And then once the Book of Boba Fett is all said and done and all the episodes are shown to the fans, that's when the Obi-Wan Kenobi marketing run is going to begin sometime in mid to late March. Now we know that the Boba Fett series runs until February. That's where we're going to have a little bit of a break in between before the marketing of the Kenobi series ramps up. So, on top of all of this, one thing that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have been very much consistent with was, of course, pushing everything forward with all of their ideas to the Disney higher-ups, as well as to Disney CEO Bob Chapek, and exactly how they really want to craft this new Star Wars universe moving ahead. So, with that being said, here we are, it is the new year already, and this is the time for both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni to shine. It's the very beginning of the golden years of Star Wars for sure under Disney's wing. So, on top of all of this, with both Disney and Lucasfilm now focused on their new Star Wars projects, like Star Wars Ahsoka and Kenobi, both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are beginning to do unexpected things with the Star Wars universe moving ahead. Now, further is described, however, that recently Jon Favreau has been moving forward with some significant changes to the Star Wars world in order to satisfy the fans that had issues with the sequel trilogy movies. Now, it's noted that, however, that recently Disney finally agreed to make a big move with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni for The Mandalorian Season 4, and a lot of that has to do with rehiring Gina Carano. Now, it's described that Disney's higher-ups finally came to an agreement with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni to bring back Gina Carano as Cara Dune instead of a relative of the character like how they originally intended. Disney plans on announcing more to do with Cara Dune's return later this year, as they are still going over many things with Favreau and Filoni. The return of Cara Dune has to do with extensive negotiations between Favreau and the higher-ups, as well as Bob Chapek getting involved as he was on John's side about all of this, in order to satisfy the fans and put the drama in the past and in the rear-view window finally and once and for all. Now, let me just stop right here, in case you guys have been unaware. A couple of weeks ago, Disney was pushing for this idea for Gina Carano to only come back to The Mandalorian Season 4, not as Cara Dune, but as Cara Dune's relative, in order to shy away from the character of Cara Dune and not have anybody, kind of gain any memory of what happened back in February of 2021 when Gina Carano was fired. I mean, can you believe that was pretty much a year ago at this point? I mean, time just flies by, but back to the scenario, we already know that Disney and Lucasfilm are pretty much desperate at this point. They really want to get the ball rolling with Star Wars. They want to make sure that they not only are satisfying the fans that are still around, but they also want to satisfy new fans coming in, as well as bringing back the fans that were lost, the ones that walked away from the events after the sequels, and especially after Kathleen Kennedy had fired Gina Carano in a very unacceptable way. I mean, that's no question about it. It's a no-brainer. When you look at everything that did happen over the past couple of years by Kathleen Kennedy, we already know that she's been very irresponsible, and Gina Carano's firing was for sure the biggest example of how things can be done so poorly by this company that we call Lucasfilm, right? It's kind of sad that this has George Lucas's legacy attached to it, and Kathleen Kennedy really tainted it. And that's exactly what John and Dave are trying to fix. They're trying to clean house over at Lucasfilm. They want to balance things out. They want order to be placed in there, people to behave in a respectful manner against the fans, especially those who are on the Twitter, platform or other social media platforms at that. So moving on from this, all right, this is where things begin to pick up. Disney, of course, is getting involved on all of this in order to negotiate things further, and Disney is already set for a meeting with Jon and Dave by the end of this month to discuss screen time for Gina Carano in Season 4 and exactly how they're going to market the character's return and break the news to the fans later down the road. Now, additionally, Disney is now said to be having a change of heart, that they even want to bring back Cara Dune merchandise so that they can be 100% authentic with Cara Dune's return. And this is not just an example of damage control. They want to make sure that this character will return stronger than ever. Cara Dune in Season 4 is set to hold a brand new design, both for her outfit and for her appearance in general in the series, and that, of course, all of this will take place during holiday of 2023 for Mando Season 4. Now, Gina Carano is described to be very excited about this decision by Disney to allow her to come back as Cara Dune and not her relative, as Disney wanted to do some weeks ago. It's described that Disney is even planning something with Favreau in order to tease Carano's return at the very end of The Mandalorian Season 3 to set things up for Season 4. Now, though Gina won't be in the third season, Disney wants to move forward with a way to tease her character during the season's end, such as a piece of armor or even a weapon of sorts that signals her return. Disney is looking at all of their options to make things right with the fans with no games in between, so that they can focus on the future of Star Wars and beyond. Now, Disney hopes that one day they could bring back the Rangers series that was cancelled altogether, sadly due to complications from Gina getting fired incorrectly by Kathleen Kennedy in the end that messed with production and issues for Jon Favreau. Now, here's the thing about Gina Carano's return that I think a lot of fans really need to know and need to be aware of, is that she's not going to be in Mando Season 3 this year, alright? So in case you guys did not know, this year is the year that Mando Season 3 drops. They're pushing for holiday release, and I think the fact that they're trying to really tease her return at the very end of Season 3 to signal of what's to come for the final season, being the fourth one. By the way, we talked about this before, it's not going to be called Season 4, it's going to have its own little subtitle under the Mandalorian title, which I kind of think is pretty cool. I think that's a very interesting direction to go. But overall, I think the fact that when you look at everything that has happened before in the past, the fact that now Disney is beginning to cave and allowing George, Jon, and Dave to just do their thing and do what they want to do with the Star Wars universe, and making sure that they could really do all of these amazing things in one big shot and just pitch everything to Disney and move forward and just let it, roll at that point in time. Just let the fans decide exactly what's acceptable and what's not acceptable and work from there. It's a building block scenario. You got to really make sure that you're building things from the ground up step by step, and you're making sure that the fans are approving of that step by step. That's the best way to kind of build a successful brand, and I think that's why Marvel did it so very well. So the last thing, obviously, given that there are more meetings on the way, the last one's going to take place later this month to really finalize everything to do with Gina's return, everything ranging from her screen time for Cara Dune, anything ranging from her overall design of the character. They really want to talk more about this with Favreau and Filoni and exactly how they're going to really kind of drop the ball, with all of this coming forward with the fans. So overall, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know through all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.